Hey, Cheryl.
Good morning.
Cheryl, so the economy has been like all over the place the last few years, right? Through COVID and everything else. It's been good and it's been bad. It's been terrible. Do we have an economy anymore? Right? It's all over the place. So right now, today, okay, and like looking forward, say about a year, like through 2025, let's say, like, are you noticing that the economy is having an impact on what your clients are like want to spend money on or should be spending money on or how much money they're going to spend?
Well, that's a really good question. And what I am really seeing and addressing with our clients is thinking about not adding emotion to it, not looking at what people are saying the economy is going to be like, but instead looking at the data and the information about your marketing, understanding what you're doing, how you're handling it, and making sure that we're still staying out there no matter what. We may cut back a little bit on one thing or increase on something else, but making sure that we are seen, that your brand is seen, and you're staying steady at it, because that's what you have to do, even in a slow economy, is making sure that your name is always out there and they can find you no matter what. So really paying attention to your data and your information, and making decisions on that, not on the emotion of the time.
So in that case, especially with sort of the focus on keeping track of, look at your metrics, right, your analytics, uh, are you seeing any like shifts in priorities as we in marketing strategy as we sort of go through 2025?
I think they are understanding. Well, one thing that is really impacting it is how, and I hate to say that, but how the presidential campaign, and all the things that are going on right now, the changes that they're making in
Hmm.
their marketing is influencing a lot of our clients out there,
Yeah.
because they're watching that and they're saying, okay, they're getting away from some of those traditional things that are out there. And I'm not going to say that's right for everybody, but they're really focusing on the digital end, and then making sure that digital information is hitting the um, candidates, people that they need to really hit. So our clients are taking that back, and I'm using it as well in the conversations and saying, okay, look at this. These are the trends out there. This is where things are going. Now we need to sit back, look at your data, and figure out, is this the best trend for you as well? Or is this something that we need to maybe incorporate slowly as we move forward? Every business is different.
So then what kind of like marketing tactics do you think are delivering really good ROI right now? Or what should most companies kind of not emphasize anymore?
Well, I don't want that's a really a hard one, because when in my world,
Yeah, this is why this is such a great experience for me. I get to
yeah,
ask all the easy parts, and the
you
guests
bet.
have to pick up and lift all the weight. I love this.
Make me
Yeah.
add all the other stuff on there. That's great. I love the challenge. Love the challenge. Well, what we're really seeing out there, and again, I really work hard with the clients to understand, we can't change your business to match everybody else's, because everybody is different, and we need to make sure that we're doing that
Mhm.
out there for you that's best, and just watching the data and changing with it. And the benefit of using the digital end of it much more than the traditional things is the ability to maneuver and pivot in a very timely manner on it, versus if you're basing all of your marketing on billboards or TV ads or that type of thing. All of those take longer to get that information out. And how are we better following what you need to be doing out there?
Right. So, do you think there's any sort of approach or sort of mentality or even like tool that's or channel that's sort of like underrated right now? Like if you were the empress of all marketing, right? And you could, and whatever you said a client should do, the client would do it. Imagine that, you know.
Oh,
Like,
wow. Wouldn't that
like
make
what
life
would
easier?
you like say, guys? Like this is way underrated, and you should be doing it. So like,
Well, I encourage, I know AI is the buzzword of everything out there, but a lot of clients are afraid to use it.
mhm,
And the products that we have that are tried and tested and really working, I encourage them to at least look at them and see how you can make sure that you are providing that customer service. So if you're having issues with having employees or finding customers or individuals to handle your customer service, how can we implement AI on there and be able to make sure that you're really providing that service that they need? Because that's the area that is the hardest for businesses to manage and control, is customer service, whether it's internally or externally, making sure that they are providing the best customer service, because that can make you stand out. You may have exactly the same thing as all your competitors have, but if your customer service is really there, I mean really there, and it's always on top of mind, you can beat out the competition, because
So
that's what they want.
that's customer service as a marketing channel.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay,
Mhm.
fine.
I firmly believe that's a very important area that is often forgotten and not spent enough time on, and understanding it. And what I tell clients is, I can bring them to your door.
Hmm.
I just can't control what happens after they open that door. And you have to be on board, and you need to understand that from the first person they see, the first person they talk to the last person that delivers a product or service, there has to be customer service all the way through, or everything else we do is in vain.
Right. Well, makes sense. As a fractional, let's change direction a little bit. As a
Mhm.
fractional CMO, has the process of finding clients like changed recently? Right? Is it any different than it was 2 years ago? There
Uh,
are a lot more people calling themselves fractional CMOs.
I don't. I think there's still a misunderstanding what a fractional CMO is
Hmm.
out there, and all fractional, whether it's CMOs or HR or financial or whatever it may be, they don't quite understand. I mean, it's an interesting title, first of all, and they're looking at it as, okay, what can they do that we're not already doing internally? And they don't understand that the wealth and knowledge that we bring in, and the fact that paying us to come in and help them with their marketing or whatever it may be, is a benefit. The cost of having us do it versus them go and hire somebody to come in, train, analyze, do all the things that they need to do to ramp up to really do things. We can come in and within 90 days already have something structured, where a new employee might take 6 months, maybe even 12 months, depending on the
Right.
business, to even become acclimated enough to make the changes that need to be done and come in with a fresh perspective. And I think that's something that we need to keep educating them on. And of course, programs like this or podcasts like this are great, Dean, because this really gets them to see and hear exactly from fractional CMOs and better understand what we actually do.
Well, then let's both of us sort of change
Mm-hmm.
and put ourselves into the seat or shoes of someone who wants to hire a fractional CMO. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a company that's looking to hire like a CMO or a fractional CMO, right? In many cases, the first CMO a company ever hires is fractional, right? Either because of their size or age, or I mean, the size or age of the company, not size or age of the fractional CMO. Clearly,
Right.
yeah, be any size you want as fractional CMO. If you're looking to find one, like, what are the challenges? I mean, it can be challenging right now to find the right people for any position on a marketing team, right? What are the challenges for finding the right fractional CMO?
Wow. Well, I think it's like anything else. You need to vet them, not just necessarily go just because I'm on here, and I hope you do contact me. I would love to talk to any business, but I may not be right for every business either.
No?
So I think it's a case of, what is the honesty and what is the rapport when you first talk to that CMO, fractional CMO? What questions did they ask? Were they more concerned about your business up front, or were they too busy talking about how great they are, or
Mm.
how talented they are, or how experienced they are? I think that plays into sincerity of what that CMO is looking for out there.
You're working with customers in various industries, right? That's
Mhm.
inevitable. You know, Where do you see the most growth? What industries you think are looking at like the best growth potential for the next couple of years versus the ones that are probably going to stabilize or maybe even decline a bit?
You want to repeat that in for me? I
Sure.
lost part of it.
So,
Okay.
at any point in any year or whatever, right? There are
Mhm.
some industries that seem to be doing quite well, and
Sure.
others that seem to be like stopped growing or even declining.
Mhm.
Right? What are you seeing right now around who's growing and who's probably not going to grow or not grow as fast?
I think the ones that I'm seeing are growing are the ones that are really, again, looking at their data and their information, or their data and their analytics, and looking at that and gauging it. Hopefully they've got some really good data from the past as well, and looking at the changes on there and following what is actually working and what's not, and what are the trends going forward and where do they need to go. I think that really stepping back and looking at what they're doing internally and reaching out to other organizations, not necessarily just this fractional CMO there, but if the fractional CMO is really good, they're not afraid to bring in additional support people as well.
Right.
I mean, if
Right.
they're really in tune with your business and want to work with you, they're going to bring in additional people as well, because we cannot be the one and only that can do everything out there. That's just not going to happen. But we have to be humble enough to say, hey, I know enough to be dangerous. Let's do this and bring that in. And I think that's the companies that are willing to do that are the ones that are going to keep moving and keep succeeding and changing out there, and being able to stay up with the trends, because things are changing so quickly that you just don't have a whole lot of time sometimes to pivot and make those changes internally.
Right. All right. I have two fill in the blank questions. They're exactly great thematically for me because again, I get the easy part and you get the hard
Mhm.
part. And so the first of it to fill in the blank is many clients just don't understand what.
They just don't understand their brand.
Oh, okay. Go on.
And the reason I say that is they've not really thought about what their brand is, what have not paid enough attention to what people are saying about their brand, good or bad, whatever it may be, and not training their team internally what their brand is, because you need to make sure that from the top all the way down, they understand your brand, your mission, your vision, everything about your company
Right.
internally. Again, if we don't do that, we're not able to tell the story to our current customers, our future customers, whoever they may be. If we don't know what our brand is, how can we tell them what our brand is?
Okay. And now, so that's sort of the last scenario of our session here today. Okay.
Mhm.
So here's the scenario. You get invited to sit down at a little coffee shop with three people who were full-time, decades in CMOs at companies. And completely coincidentally, they all decided that last week to become fractional CMOs. Like today is their first day as a
First day
fractional
in the
CMO.
job.
Right? Fill in the blank on this question. A fractional CMO starting today is going to be surprised by what?
What their job really is going to be
And what's
as a
their job
CMO,
really?
what their job really is, and what they have done in the past as far as managing
Mm-hmm.
a marketing, managing the marketing, managing their team, managing how sales are done, all of that goes out the door, because you need to come in with the mindset that you are coaching, as well as you need to understand that
Mm,
while you are doing everything hands-on, you're not going to be doing it if you're doing your job right as a fractional CMO for a company, you are not going to be doing hands-on. You have to train them to do the hands-on and coach them. So it's more of a coaching situation versus you as being an employee and actually doing the work. and managing the people and managing everything out there. You need to step back. And as much as you want to say, hey, I can do it faster than what you're doing right now, you have to sit back and coach them to get them to understand, because you're not going to be there forever. You
Right.
need to show them and train them what they need to do. So I think that's the hardest thing for them to understand. And the number one thing that they need to when they go in is, I am coaching, I am not doing.
Okay. Let's do one final question then before
Okay.
I ask like who should contact you. So I'm the CEO of your client's company, okay? And I kind of surprised you with a question. And I said, Cheryl, you've worked with a lot more CEOs than I have worked with CMOs. So what should I, as the CEO, start doing or stop doing to make sure that we get maximum value out of you being here?
Well, number one thing you have to do is you have to support us as a CMO, fractional
Yeah.
CMO. And whether you totally agree with everything or not, change is difficult. Change is difficult for the CEO as well as it is for any of your staff internally.
Right. Yeah.
So let's sit down. If you have questions about something, if you're concerned about something, let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Let me explain why I feel that you need to do it that way, and let me hear why you feel it's not the right way, and let's come up with a real plan of what we need to do. Because every CEO is different, and every business is different, but we need to understand that if you're really going to make the changes that you say you want, and that's where the expectations. I always have a list of expectations of what I expect of you as a CEO, and what you should expect of me as a CMO, fractional CMO, what needs to be done and how we're going to tackle it, and understand that at the very beginning. Because if I do not have your blessing,
Right. Yeah.
it just isn't going to it isn't going to funnel down.
So these days, who should be reaching out to you and how should they get to you?
Really, any business at all that is looking at having some fresh eyes. I think that's, if you feel that just having even a conversation with me
Mm-hmm.
might be beneficial to you and your organization, come out and reach out to me. And I've got my email up there, cheryl.ohern@spinmarket.com, and market has 2 Ks.com. It's not misspelled on there. That's how it's supposed to be. But have them come have a conversation, and let's see if I am a good fit for you or not. Or maybe it's somebody that, maybe, again, I'm not afraid to share the wealth. I'm a big networker. So maybe there's somebody else that would be better for your organization after we've had the conversation. But I need to know about your business, and I need to know more about you in order to provide that. So have a conversation. And any business, it doesn't make any difference how small or how big you are. There's some things that we can see during the conversation that we might be able to help you with.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Cheryl. Thanks. This has been
Right.
fabulous. Nice to see you again. Welcome
Yes.
back as a guest.
Okay. Well, ask me anytime. I'd love to come back. This is great. I appreciate it. And anybody out there, again, just email me and I'll be happy to visit with you. And like I said, if it's not good for me, I probably know somebody that would be a
Right.
good fit for you to work with.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching.